cousin Kayla, and she's gonna tell us some things, I guess. I'm gonna ask you some questions about about like animals, like cows, calves, the basic stuff. Anyways, how do you keep like us and the calves safe?
Well, there's a lot of things that we do here to stay safe. I am the herdsman at Go to Century Dairy. One way we can keep everybody safe is fences. We keep our cattle, or try to keep our cattle in fences. Sometimes that doesn't always work. So obviously that would keep them off the roads and keeps them where they're supposed to be. We milk dairy cattle, which are a lot friendlier than, or easier to milk than beef cows, which have a lot more of their natural instincts to be good mothers. So like a beef cow would not be afraid to run you over to try to save her calf, and there's a lot of times where dairy cows don't even care about their calf. They just care about themselves more, I guess. So that's where we a lot of times, well, I mean, we always step in and basically become their foster mothers. So we raise the calves ourselves and feed them milk replacer for the first about 6 to 8 weeks. And then after that, they're weaned, and then they get special food like pellets and haylage and all that fun stuff. And then eventually they make their way to become a cow.
Why, like, do you have a bull instead of, like, I guess you could say, like, a breeder?
Okay. Well, we do some AI. We were doing all AI for the last few years, except for our heifers. Our heifers aren't set up to be bred by a person, I guess, because we don't have headlocks, so it's not very safe for us to try to go in there and breed them ourselves. If we had, we would like to get headlocks in the future, and then we can use AI. A lot of times people like to use AI because there's better genetics and it's safer versus having a bull. Right now we do have a bull on one of our, we have a freestyle that has two sides. On one side we have the cows that are recently fresh, and then like we'll try to breed them. I will actually. And then after, you know, so far in their lactation, we'll move them to the other side, and then they'll get a different ration of food. And then on that side there's a bull, so if there's any that for some reason haven't got pregnant by artificial insemination, the bull has a better job of doing the job. We've had bulls my entire life growing up, so I kind of understand like what to watch for if they're mean or whatever. The bull that we have now is very gentle, but once he starts to show signs of aggression, we'll definitely get rid of him. So what else?
How many calves do you have, like, on average, like, a year?
I think we have about, I want to take a guess and say 300 a year, because right now we're milking like 250 cows, and then like if you include the heifers having calves, it would probably be about 300. So.
Wow. I don't really know anything else.
Let's see what else. So there's just different things you can do to be safe around cattle. Like, I would say being around cattle is a lot like being around heavy equipment or like tractors, and like you're not the one driving it. You don't always know what the operator's thinking, so you always have to be aware. And I would also say it's true that like having like younger cattle is a lot like having a new person run equipment. Like they don't even know what they're thinking sometimes, so you always have to expect the unexpected. And like once you're around that stuff a lot, you kind of understand like what they're gonna do. Like one thing you really have to watch out for is like when you're moving cattle, a lot of times they'll try to like, they'll back up really fast to try to like get away, and a lot of times like they'll use their butt to kind of push you out of the way, which can be really dangerous. And you can also get kicked. That's pretty dangerous. So like milking in a tie saw barn, that's always a danger. But even in a parlor, you're still at that level of where their feet are, so they can, you know, kick you and step on you and stuff like that. So
I'm like at the perfect height of
yeah.
Like, do you want to tell the story about Grandpa and how he got wedged between a pole?
Yeah. So we used to milk in our old tie saw barn, and my grandpa would feed the calves. And to get out to the calf barn, you have to walk through the alley of where the cows like come in and out. And we were in the process of letting the cows out, I believe. I think we had more cows than we had stalls, so after we milked some, we let some out and then bring in a few more. And in the process of doing that, my grandpa was just gonna, you know, sneak back into the barn, and he got his arm in between a pole and a cow, and the cow went one way, and so did his arm, and then the pole is in the way, so it couldn't go anymore, so then it ended up breaking. So that was kind of scary. And then there was one time where my grandma was milking cows, and we were letting out cows to, you know, chase them back out into the free stall, and I don't remember what happened. If one kicked or one bumped her, so she fell into the gutter, which is really scary in itself. But then another cow ended up kicking, and it must have like sideswiped her head and cut her a big gash in her head. That was really scary. She had to get a bunch of stitches and stuff. Yeah, so the best way to stay safe is to be aware of your surroundings, spend time with cattle, try to like understand what they're thinking. Have good facilities is always a good one, like proper gates that are properly secure and not just like sitting there. And you should always try to stay calm and, you know, calm and cool, because when you get the cows all scared, all they want to do is run or like get out of the way. They don't want to be separated from their herd. And what else?
Do you think it's safe to like go in and get the cows by yourself, or do you think you should have another person?
It's always good to have two people. Like, even if you're, you know, in a situation where you could just have one person, it's good to have two people just in case something does go wrong and you're not able to call for help or something. Like, somebody is there, they know what's going on, kind of thing. What else? I feel like there's something else I wanted to add.
I don't know.
Oh yes. So there's a few situations where like cows are really dangerous when you're trying to separate them from their herd, whether it's, you know, just to do a hoof trimming or you're just trying to move them. They don't like to be separated. Another time is after they have their calf. I mean, it's mostly just beef cows, but we have had a few Holstein cows, and well, I mean, any kind of cow that is defensive of their calf, so they will try to, you know, charge you and stuff. And then another time is when they're in heat, they can become very aggressive. We have this one red and white cow. Her name is Rosie, and she's always very friendly. I call her Rosie because she's nosy Rosie. She's always like in your pocket. And she's very nice. She's very gentle and stuff, but I always know when she's bullying because she will like come and find me when I'm scraping scraping with the scraper in the freestyle. She'll come and she'll start like headbutting me. Or, I mean, sometimes they'll even try to like jump on your back if you're not watching, so you always have to be aware of your surroundings.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Oh, one other thing, sorry. If you guys do want more information about this kind of stuff, you can visit a farm or whatever, or a good resource is Temple Grandin. She has a lot of stuff about like stockmanship and how to move cattle and be safe around them. So I'm sure that's something Mr. Knoyer knows a lot about. So okay.
Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you.
All right.